Alright, so let's get started. Sit comfortably wherever you are, keeping your head and spine erect. Roll your shoulders back once, giving a nice opening to your chest and clavicles. Eyes gently closed. Be steady and comfortable in the posture. Visualize your whole body in the sitting position with head and spine upright and straight. Now bring your awareness to the breath. Observe the natural breath flowing in and out through the nostrils. Keeping the awareness on the breath, we shall now be chanting Om 3 times together. Take a deep breath in. Om. Om. And now slowly rub both the palms against each other. Place the warm palms over the closed eyes and slowly break your palms down and open the eyes. So, very warm welcome for the session today again. So, today's topic is Antarmaun or inner silence. So, this term might be new for some of us and may not be familiar with this technique of meditation. So, before we enter into the practice, I would like to give you some brief understanding of what exactly it is to practice Antarmaun, right? So, just allow me to share my screen. And meanwhile, I would appreciate if you all can keep your videos on. It would be so nice to connect with you on screen online with videos on, right? Okay. Chaliye. So today's practice, as I mentioned, is about the technique called as Antarmaun. In English, it is translated as inner silence. So there is one beautiful quote given by one of the Swamis from Bihar School of Yoga, and he has said that when the mind is silent and peaceful, it becomes very powerful and it can be a receptor of bliss and wisdom, enabling life to become more spontaneous expression of joy and harmony. However, this inner silence cannot arise while there is a continual thoughts going on, the disturbing thoughts and emotions, right? So, all this inner noise of thoughts and emotions has to be removed to truly experience the soundless sound of inner silence. So, what it means? That all of us want to have peaceful mind, we want to experience that bliss, that harmony, but somehow we are not able to experience that and we do not know the technique of how to do it. Yeah. So here the practice of inner silence is very helpful. So we'll understand the technical definition of what is inner silence or antarmaun. So as I said, antar means inner and maun means silence. So it is the exact meaning or the exact translation of this practice, antarmaun, is inner silence. It is a meditative technique that leads to inner tranquility and silence. Okay. It is an important technique for everyone with disturbed mind, unbalanced emotions, and confused sanskaras. It means it's for all of us, right? Because when we are dealing with day to day life, there are so many situations outside, circumstances outside, which somehow disturbs our mind, agitates our mind, and we do not know how to control it or manage it well. Clear? So, this practice of inner silence is very helpful. It is also good for those who are not able to focus or concentrate their mind on one point, and it gives a good basis for the process of self cleansing. It has been, this practice has been graduated through different stages, starting with mental relaxation. So, this practice of inner silence is a good preparation for advanced meditative techniques. So, basically, though we put this practice under meditation, this comes under pratyahara practice, right? So in yoga, there are 8 limbs given: yama, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahara, dharana, dhyan, and samadhi, right? So this practice of antarmon actually comes under the stage of pratyahara practice. It means it is the stage where you learn to internalize your awareness. Usually what happens that our mind is always externalized, right? And we are hardly aware of what is going on inside of us, right? So to understand what is going on inside of us, this practice of antarmon is very helpful and beneficial. Clear? So there are different stages of this practice. First is awareness of our sense perception. Second is becoming aware of our spontaneous thought process. Third is conscious creation of thoughts. Fourth is awareness and disposal of spontaneous thoughts. Fifth is thoughtlessness. And sixth is psychic symbol awareness. Now, in today's class, we are going to focus only first 2 stages. So, I will be describing those 2 stages bit in detail. So, as it is mentioned that you can see it on the screen, awareness of sense perception. So, first of all, when we want to deal with our mind, we need to understand that you can't control your mind. It's just not possible, right? So, what to do? So, here is a nice analogy that we can take. We can consider the mind as our child, right? So, if you want your child to do something, what would you do? For example, if you tell your child that do not go outside, what the child will do? He would go outside, right? So, whatever you say that no, you are not supposed to do this, he will do it more. Similarly, our mind functions. If you tell your mind that be silent, be calm, do not think about anything, it will start thinking more, correct? So, here the trick is that allowing your mind to roam wherever it wants to, let it wander. Yeah. And then once it gets disinterested or once it becomes tired, automatically it will come inside, right? So here we are using different sense perceptions because what does the mind do? That whatever 5 senses we are having, the each sense runs behind its object of perception. For example, eyes wants to see everything, tongue wants to taste everything, skin wants some touch, ears wants to hear something all the time outside, right? So what we are doing here is that we become aware of these sense perceptions. For example, I allow my ears to hear everything outside. So what will happen after some time? The ears will start feeling it monotonous, boring, right? And automatically, even if the sound is going on outside, it will be least interested to hear that. Clear? So likewise, we are trying to develop the different sense perceptions in stage 1. In stage 2, what we are going to do is we are going to become aware of our spontaneous thought process. So what happens that during the day, if you experience or if you become aware of it, you will realize that there is a constant chain of thoughts going on in our mind, right? And what are these thoughts? Either they are of the past, or it is planning about the future. These are the only two states where your mind goes back and forth. It is either thinking about the past or it is planning about the future, right? And our job at this moment is to just become aware of those thought process without analyzing them, without judging them. Clear? So these are the two stages that we are going to practice today. So on this note, let's get started. There is lot many things, there are lot many points, technicalities of this practice, but because this is a very short session and focusing on more of the experiencing it, we are not going into much technicalities of it, but we'll get into the practice right away. Okay? Chaliye. So wherever you are, sit comfortably. And before getting into the practice, if anyone has any quick question, were you able to connect with the theory part? Yes, no? Yes? All right, great. So, assuming that you have understood the theory of this practice, let's get into it. So, sit comfortably. Remove the glasses or the wristwatch. Keep them aside. You can sit on the mat, chair, sofa, or the bed. Just make sure that your spine remains erect wherever you are. Roll your shoulders back once. This gives a nice opening to your chest and clavicles, allowing the free flow of the breath. Eyes are gently closed. Make sure that you are as comfortable as possible throughout the practice. If you want to make any adjustments, kindly make it right now so that you are not disturbed during the practice. Make all the necessary adjustments in your positions, clothing, and be steady and still. Your spine is upright and straight. Head and neck remains in the center. Eyes are gently closed. Become steady and still. I am prepared for the practice of inner silence. This should be the mood of the mind. Become aware of your external environment. Become aware of the external sensual experiences, different sounds, different sensations on the body. Now concentrate on the external sounds, not at all considering them to be disturbances in the concentration. With absolute concentration, with total external awareness, hear the different sounds from outside. It can be anything, the vehicles on the road, the sound of the fan in your room, or it can be your own heartbeats. or my voice, any sounds that you hear from outside. Just be aware of them without analyzing. Focus on the external sounds. Forovine. The different sounds that you might be hearing from your surrounding. Do not fight with your senses. Do not struggle with your sense expressions and sense experiences, but just become aware, become a spectator of them. The different sounds that you might be hearing. Awaken the awareness. I am aware. I am hearing the different sounds. I am aware. I am hearing the different sounds. In this way, the mind and senses should be trained to become undisturbed by the sensual experiences. Constant awareness of the external sounds. In spite of the fact that you are hearing the outer sounds, you should not be disturbed by them. Just continue to hear the sounds without getting disturbed. Continue to hear the sound for a while. Now, slowly become aware of your thoughts, the spontaneous thought process, the thoughts that come and go out of their own accord. Become aware of the spontaneous thoughts. You don't have to bring in the thought flow. Just be aware of the spontaneous thoughts that might be arising at this point of time. You must remain a silent witness of every thought that is going through your mind. When you become aware of a particular thought, Say to yourself, yes, I'm thinking about this particular thought. Maintain the awareness of every single thought that arises. You should remain alert all throughout. They may be the good thoughts or they may be the bad thoughts, but those thoughts do not come from anywhere outside. They are the expressions of your inner personality and they are the expressions of your own self. So just observe your thoughts, whether good or bad, positive or negative. Continue to observe the spontaneous thoughts. Every single thought that arises in your mind. Do not associate yourself with any thought. Keep yourself separate as a seer of thoughts, as a beholder of the experiences. Do not oppose any thought. Do not hesitate. Do not support or do not suffer from any thought. You are not the thought. You are the witness of the thought. The thinking process is spontaneous. Continue to observe your thoughts. Every single thought that arises on its own accord. Be an observant. Be a witness. Go on thinking and beholding. The constant awareness. I am observing my own thoughts that arises spontaneously. Now slowly shift your awareness to the physical body once again. Become aware of your own body in the sitting position with head and spine upright and straight. Become aware of the different parts of the body. Feel the different sensations that might be arising on the different parts of the body. Once again, become aware of your breath. Observe the natural breath flowing in and out. Continue to observe your breath for some time. See how it is flowing in a rhythm. Maintaining the constant awareness of the breath, we shall now be chanting Om 3 times together. Take a deep breath in. Om. Om. Shanti Path together. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And now slowly rub both the palms against each other. Place the warm palms over the closed eyes and gently bring your palms down and open the eyes. All right. So if you want, you can just outstretch the legs and relax yourself. Just shake your legs, move your arms and shoulders, make yourself comfortable, and slowly open your eyes. So we end the class here for today. Thank you all for joining in. Hare Krishna. If anyone has any question, any feedback, feel free to unmute and ask. It would be nice if anyone has any questions so that I understand whether you could connect with the practice or no. Yes, Abhishek ji. I'll just stop recording here.